Hello. We're going to go ahead and learn how to paint our terrain with textures. Um, we're going to switch from raise or lower terrain here down to paint texture. And when we do this, the first thing we're going to need to do is to use our middle mouse wheel to wheel down to the layers. If the layers are not open, click the little gray arrow right next to the word layers, and you'll see that, well, at the moment, our layers are empty. We're going to go ahead and add a layer. If you'll click Add Layer, you'll see that there are some that are already defined here. And the one we're going to pick is Rock. Double click that, and just like that, rock has been applied to our entire texture, to our entire terrain. Now, right below layers, you'll see another area called Layer Properties. Open Layer Properties up, and I'm going to wheel down in here to Layer Properties. And in Layer Properties, we're going to change a few things because, I mean, if you look at our texture right now, our terrain right now, it honestly looks terrible. But if I change my normal scale from 5 to 1, it's already improving. And if I change my tile settings from 100 in X and 100 in Y to 20 in X and 20 in Y for the offset, my rock texture now takes on a much better look. If I zoom in on my actual mountains, and try not to look at the ground, the mountains actually have kind of a very nice rocky kind of look. So that basically painted the whole texture, the whole terrain. Now, I also want to add a grass texture. So I'm going to collapse the layer properties, come back here to the layers, and I'm going to click on Add Layer. And this time, I'm going to go find the one called Layer Ground, GRA. That's short for, if I move this little slider right here down all the way, you'll see Layer Ground Grass. So I'll double click that. And then I'm going to set a few things on the brush, because you notice something. When I selected this one, it didn't automatically apply it to the whole terrain. I'm actually going to have to paint this onto the terrain. So with that layer selected, I'm going to change my brush size to like big 100. And I'm going to start to paint. Now I recommend doing this in strokes. That way, if you mess up while you're doing it, if you go, oops, I accidentally painted my rocks, you can Control Z your way out. And it can also help too to change to like a tool that's not going to have blurred edges. Like I said, do it in strokes. Now here on the edge, because I'm going beyond the radius of the circle, I'm going to have to lower my brush size down to like maybe 50. There we go. That'll get that circle to fit in there so I can get around that edge. And as long as I've got that small radius there, I'll take care of these edges over here. Ooh, yeah, putting myself into a orthographic directly from the top view. Very nice. Now, some cleanup is going to be required. You might notice that sometimes the brush, as I'm painting the grass, the brush stroke is actually going up onto my mountains. And I'm going to have to get in and fine tune some of that. Bump the brush back up to 100. Some of these big areas here. Bring the brush down 30. Now I can see that there are some places here where I ended up brushing grass up onto the side of the mountains. And in those places where I ended up brushing grass into the side of the mountains, let me change my main camera's far plane to 2000 and the near plane to 0.1, just so I can hopefully get away from too much clipping. Yeah, I'm still getting clipping. Let's see. Got some big areas there where I got a lot of grass going up the sides of my mountains. All right. Then there's one other material that I want to use, and that's going to be the layer ground road. I'll double click that. And I'm going to set my brush to about a size of like 20. I'm going to go ahead and draw myself kind of an open area here. And that's going to represent my airport. It's going to represent where I'm going to place my aircraft there, where it's going to take off from. And I can see my prototype over here. the move tool, move it over there, get my other prototype, move it over here, and then let's see here. Once you think you've got it painted, look at it, make sure it doesn't have any gross errors in it, because I'm going to have you pan around in your terrain, and I'll be looking for any areas that look like you just kind of like threw it together quickly and didn't try to make it look good. All right, and that'll do it.